To make the Mediterranean pea with rice dish, very simple, the most standard recipe for most of the Middle Eastern cooking. So you start off with your preferred oil, the most common one, especially in Mediterranean, is vegetable oil or canola oil, sunflower oil, any oil that you actually prefer to use. You can actually also use olive oil. It won't taste like the strong taste when it's raw in salads and stuff. So once it's cooked off, you can't actually taste a strong taste, the olive oil taste. But yeah, I am using vegetable oil at the moment. So you start off by putting just a little bit of oil in your pan. I add the onions first to brown them a bit. They do have some salt and pepper already added to the actual onions themselves, the diced onions. And it's only a teaspoon of salt and a teaspoon of, you can have normal pepper, but I'm using the Mediterranean mixed spice. So there's various different ones on the market. There's 7 spice, there's all various different types. So it depends on what you choose for your cooking, but you can use plain pepper. So I will leave that to brown. We will need to add more salt and pepper depending on when you taste it, see what it actually requires. But for now, you leave it to brown the onion a bit before we add the mince. Now that the onions have gone a bit brown, yes, they've gone a bit sticky, but that's fine. That's all flavour in the bottom. So this is a perfect time to now add your mince. So you can use absolutely any mince you like. You can use beef, lamb, whatever. I wouldn't use pork or any kind of mince of that kind. But I do, yeah, recommend beef or lamb. Crush the mince. At this stage, you'll have a look, so you won't add, it looks like that it needs a bit more oil. I wouldn't put oil at this stage. I will wait, depending on your type of meat. If it's a premium meat has less fat. Not the choice of everyone, but yeah, but most do use it. So if you do, then yes, you will need to add a bit more oil to it. I won't add it at this stage. I'll just have a look once this mince has actually cooked off a little bit, how much fat actually comes out of it. A lot of it will evaporate in the cooking, so you don't have to worry about that. But as you can tell, I'm cooking on high heat. I only had the initial salt and pepper from the onions. I'll leave this to cook off a little bit for, I'd say, about 2 more minutes. And then we'll go ahead and we'll add our tomato paste to the mix. As you can tell, my mix doesn't need any more oil. I'll be adding a lot of water and tomato paste to it, so I won't need it at this stage. I will add tomato paste. You can use passata if you like in any of the recipes that I actually use, but I am going to use only 2 tablespoons of the tomato paste. I don't like it too strong in taste, so I do mix it around with 2 tablespoons of the tomato paste. If you do suffer from heartburn, there's a lot of people that suffer from heartburn from the tomatoes. I would recommend in any dish that you're using, especially tomato paste or passata, add a teaspoon of sugar. You can do a tablespoon, it just depends, but I use a teaspoon in some of my cooking, depending on who's eating it. if it does cause them heartburn, and that should actually not give them heartburn. So maybe worth giving it a try. It may not work for everyone, but a bit of a handy tip. Now that I've incorporated the tomato paste, I will add the peas. I am using 500 grams of peas. You can add more, less, or less. It just depends. With me personally, I like it very meaty. A lot of people don't prefer it on meaty, and don't forget this will be served with rice. So now that I've incorporated the 500 grams of peas, I will add my 1.5 litres of water. At this stage, I'll keep the temperature of the stove the way it is. I also add a sprinkling. You don't need to, and the traditional recipe does not require Italian style herbs, but I do add a little bit just for a bit of taste. So just a little sprinkle of that, maybe half a teaspoon. Now what we do is we leave this aside, let it cook, and we'll have a look. We'll check back later to ensure. So you should take it about 5 minutes roughly, depending on how much water and how many peas and all that you're actually using. So once it starts boiling, you can start tasting it to see if it needs a bit more salt, depending on